We're standing in front of the Ridge View Farms Incorporated farm on Ridge Road in the town of Champlain, New York, with one of the Castine brothers, the owners and operators of the farm. This is Kenneth, who I believe is officially the manager.
Oh.
That means he's the boss. And my name is Bob Venne. Calvin Castine has the camera. This is Channel 21, Hometown Cable, bringing you for a tour of the new buildings following the disastrous fire here, September the 9th, 1988, when most of the buildings at this huge farm, one of the largest farms in northern New York, was devastated by a Friday night fire. And now we've got Sept coming here.
In front of that, can we?
That's good. Okay, we're back here now in front of the new building. This yellow, you can see the metal building covering that stretches down over 300 feet. That includes here, I'll just bring this out to your attention. Here is the milk room, then the milking parlor, then the loafing barn. You can also see the 8 silos, the harvest store silos. 2 here, 5 way over, and 1 at the end of the barn. We'll see more when we get inside. We'll talk to Kenneth a minute. How many acres do you have, Kenneth, here on this particular farm?
This farm, maybe 550.
And then how many other acres do you have around the area?
Around the area would be maybe total, I think, about 23 or 2,400 acres altogether.
23 or 2,400 acres, folks. A large homestead for the average who tells you they have 1 acre at their home, and this is 23 to 2,400 acres. You can see it off in the background. Calvin can probably swing over, and that's looking east. And you can see way in the background, you can see a truck going by way over. That's the north way. You're located, and that was a prime point the night of the fire. As a matter of fact, I myself was out there with my family. We came over and parked and looked at this devastating fire, and everybody felt so sorry for the Castines. And if you've ever had a fire, you know exactly how he felt.
Yeah, right. I guess so. It's something to see when you go through one of them things. It's an awful thing.
It's been a long 7 months.
Oh, it's been the toughest 7 months I've ever had.
And you told me that the barns were prepared to open in December, but you're ahead of schedule.
Well, way behind schedule.
You're behind.
They were expected to have that done. They said to be around Christmas time, and are running about 4 or 5 months behind schedule.
Excuse me, but when we go inside, we're going to see why.
Yeah, right.
Can you give me some idea of your total investment in these buildings without any animals and none of your tractors or equipment? About how much investment do you have right here we're looking at?
Looking at what, $1.5 million, maybe over, I don't know. Just about somewhere in that neighborhood when it's completed.
Okay, an estimated $1.5 million. And folks, I'm sure that the Castines would love to see you if you got a chance to stop by. They'd be very proud to show you the buildings. Let's look inside. First of all, there are 5 brothers.
Yep,
Yourself,
5 brothers.
Arthur, Bill,
Curly,
and John.
John.
That's a frightening scene, a fire truck going by.
Going on the barcones.
You know what that is, eh?
Yeah,
Where's it going, you say?
Going over the barcones. See, it must be flaring up again, huh?
Okay, there was a bad fire in Monday night when Larry Barcombe on the Ridge Road extension on the McBride Road had a large fire and lost 18 head of cattle. I was there this morning, and his buildings are down completely. And his animals are in another location in the town of Moores at this time.
Lost quite a few head too, huh?
18 head.
18 head he
right.
lost.
And then your sister in the house,
Carol, yeah.
Carol, is also one of the partners.
Yeah,
6.
right.
6 in this corporation, and let's go inside and take a peek.
Well, you know.
Oh, you'll show us inside,
yeah,
right? We'll show that inside. Down, maybe? Okay, here, we'll override the radio. No, we'll override the radio. Okay, we're inside now of the milk room, part of the milk room.
Yeah, right.
You face the camera, and also tell us what's going to happen in here.
Well, what's going to happen in here is just about finished. Now we'll have to put our milk tank in and milking equipment down in that bottom hole, you know.
Okay. How many milk tanks will you have in here?
It'll be just one big one.
And how big? How many gallons? Approximately?
Approximately, I just forget right now what the big one is, you know.
We're not prepared for that question. This is off-the-cuff remarks that I'm asking Ken here. We asked him this morning if we could stop in and take some pictures, both for himself he'll get a copy of this before the cattle move in and before we get the rest of the tanks in, and we'll try to get more pictures later for you, Ken, afterward. Okay, so this is the big room where the tank will be.
Yeah, this is where the milk tank will be and some of the milking equipment.
Okay, and then off to our left here,
Off the side you have a utility room.
a utility room is over in here.
Yep, there'll be a utility room, electrical room. And I guess there's also a big bathroom. There's going to be a bathroom there.
A bathroom.
Yeah, they got a bathroom.
You'll have a place to shower out here.
Place to take your shower. I think this is it here.
That's going to be the bath.
Right. Oh, in the other part, I think.
The other side is the shower, and the other side smaller. I think they're going to put their vacuum pumps will be out here.
Oh, vacuum pumps.
Vacuum pumps will be in this building, and then they'll unload your milk from the tanks will be out the side, right? You'll notice that this is at least, I would estimate, 10 to probably a 10 feet high, because these look like 8-foot panels and about probably 10.5 feet ceilings. And if you look, they're all nice and white. You feel like you're in an operating room. I was thinking that this morning. There's no lights in here, and you see all the reflection we're getting.
They've done a beautiful job in here.
Certainly doing very excellent.
Morton Builders.
Morton Builders?
Morton Builders.
Where are they from?
They're from way out downstate.
Okay. They're doing a great job.
Worldwide now.
The Worldwide. Now, if you look out here, you can see some of the Harvard Store silos. And way in the back, the white building way back, straight ahead of me, is the old milk room. And then behind that is the milking parlor. And that'll be used for something else. The milking parlor will be torn down.
Yeah, right. There'll be a new calf barn going right out there in front.
Right out in front of the other barn right there.
Yeah, but right off, we'll see where the old milk house is there.
Right.
We'll extend out. We'll extend out probably out where the machinery are, see?
Right.
That'll be just for calves.
Okay, now in the storage, in the big blue tank, is liquid manure, right?
Liquid
After
manure.
the barn is clean, it goes in, it's in liquid form, and it's sprayed onto the fields?
Right.
All right, now, also you'll notice that Kenneth is not superstitious whatsoever, went completely under the ladder. You'll notice that. I thought the cast irons, I remember the cast irons. My father, Lyman, my father for 30 some odd years, my stepfather was very superstitious. Your father was too. I was telling Ken this morning that if his father, who's been dead now for 23 years, could ever came back and saw this operation, he would not believe it.
Right.
The operation inside, you're going to be amazed. Let's look at more of this on the inside. Otherwise, I'll just mention to you so that you'll know what I'm talking about. The cows will come in on the far end, correct? And they'll come up.
What there'll be a holding area there to keep a bunch of cows in, at a time.
Right.
And behind them will be the big crowd gate that you push it, they'll come down automatically.
That will push the cows into these.
Yeah.
And 12 cows come in this one side. And then this is closed off here so that they can't get out right here.
Right.
This will close, and then at each station here there are 12 different milking. The surcingles, whatever. What do we call those here? The cups for the 4 teat cups, and then there'll be 12 on the other side. The operators, you'll see in a minute, are down in a pit, level, so they do not have to bend over while they're milking the cows. And then, as they showed me this morning, if you get smaller cows who have a tendency to turn, this will move.
See, I'll push them in, bring them back there.
And it makes it smaller so that they cannot turn. Right? That'll stop a young heifer from turning around who hasn't been milking very much. The older cows don't have any problems. All right? And then this will just swing back.
That's all
too close.
Run,
it's all run by compression. Not electrical. It's not electrical.
No,
it runs by it's
no electrical in here at all.
Right.
All air.
It's all by hydraulic right here. And this is, if you look through here,
you're looking at the milker.
This is where Arthur and Bill, I believe, right, are the two milkers. They'll be down in here. One will have one side and one will have the other. And you can see that they are at the height where they can just reach in without bending over. And as the Milker is finished. It automatically drops off the cow and swings back over.
This parlor here is more or less designed for one-man operation.
One man, right, but there's no one can operate and do 24 cows.
Yeah, they do downstate.
You've got to be a pretty good milker, Ken.
Yeah, you got to be pretty good. But I mean, they do is done downstate because it takes time. You know,
Right.
some cows are milk out.
Now, tell us the name of the milking parlor. You told
Well,
me.
here's a Germanian.
Germanian.
Germanian put a...
And it came from Germany? Is it from Germany? Is it in the
Yeah.
United States?
That don't come from Germany, Dave.
Wisconsin? Germanian, Wisconsin? Okay, but it comes from the milk parlor is from Wisconsin.
Handled by
Handled by Agway. This is the. Are there any others like this up in northern New York that you know of? This particular parlor? Round Malone have one.
I guess Dave has got a few of them.
Yep. You'll notice the fluorescent lights with the caps running the whole length here. Nice and light, a nice operation. You milk twice a day.
Twice a day.
At about what
milking.
time? What hours?
5 o'clock in the morning.
And at night, 5 o'clock?
Around 5 o'clock at night.
Okay. We'll swing around. Again, this is the identical where, again, the 12 cows come in, and no cow, if the fifth one in back is finished, and you want to let her out, she don't get out until the first one. They all 12
they all gotta
will come out and walk down this lane.
Both eyes will come this way.
They both come this way. Okay.
Both eyes are going to come this way.
Okay, both will be let out, and we'll walk straight back and back into the area. This was put up so that there's a place to walk without getting into any dirt from the cows. And no cow is going to trap you inside or anything else. Look at the size of those pipes. Those are probably 2.5 to 3 inch pipes. And up above you, those are probably 5 to 6 inch pipes. All welded. The white pipes on the top are the vacuum pipes for the power to milk the milking machines, the air. And then the milk pipes are not in yet.
Not in, no.
They will run right into the tank.
Got that yet. See this here, we put this here to protect this wall, you know, so no more gets on it.
Right. Now, are these one of these automatic windows?
No, the automatic.
They're on the other side. We'll talk about that down when we get down to that other end.
There's still some more to do on this wall here. I guess a railing.
There's probably as much expense right here as anywhere in the barn, right here, right? These 2 rooms is where your money is other than the building.
A lot of money spent here in these rooms.
Well, of course, this is where the money is made. Anywhere except this room, you spend it. Here you make it, right?
The only way you can make it here if you get a high enough price for your milk.
Are you getting high enough now?
Not enough.
Never enough.
It's gone down milk, and it's dropped $1 in there.
What is it now, $13?
No, down to 12.
$12 now for milk. And we're talking about 100 pounds of milk, and there's about 2 pounds to a quart, right? So you're talking about roughly 50 quarts to 100 pounds. So 50 quarts of milk, the farmer's getting $12. Figure that out, and figure what you're paying for a quart of milk. Okay?
Somebody else is making the money somewhere.
Someone else is making the money. Now this is the holding area, Calvin. This here is where you're going to have, there'll be a gate at the far end that will be put behind the cows. And then as the cows are reluctant to go in, the gate keeps coming up, and they go off on both sides. And they told me this morning that once the cows get used to it, they usually go to their own side. They're very
certain cows will pick their side.
they pick their sides, and they're always the same side. They're very habit forming.
You know how to get habit going.
And this is where all the cows will return
They'll all return here.
after they're milked.
Back into the free stall, it will be divided into 4 or 5 groups, you know, different groups.
Right. Now this, you'll notice. Okay, explain these windows to us.
This is a window that'll work with the temperature of outdoors, you know, the weather temperature.
Yeah.
Whenever your temperature reaches a certain degree, they'll open and close automatically. So you don't have to get up and, you know, at night or something, and if it gets hot out, they'll open it. If it gets cold, they'll close it. It'll be all automatically controlled by the weather. Whenever the weather changing the weather, these windows will adapt to it.
Right. You'll also notice that they've got the aluminum white on the ceiling. Very few places for cobwebs, and there's no crevices for spiders and everything else like you see in many of the older barns. So that this is kept clean at all times. This is the important part of any operation right here. Okay, we go down and you can see that.
Very easy to take care of.
Well, it better be. You have how many hired men besides the 5 of you who work here?
We got one.
Only 1 hired man. 6 people run this, and Carol runs inside.
Yeah. Robert Tatro, he's been here for years.
Yes, Robert's been here for 10 years plus, huh?
More than that, since he was 16.
And I think he takes care of the young animals.
Yeah, we take care of all the calves.
He's the calf man. All right, now we're getting into the...
Now we're getting into the free stall.
This is the free stall, and if you get an overall picture, Calvin, of just how big this is. You want to see how big this operation is? Yes.
Well, you can get into that first if you want to.
Okay, let him just get a picture here of overall, all right? And we'll give him a break. So.
Gosh, they've done a beautiful job in here.
I would say so.
See that on top there, Bob? That stays open.
Way at the ceiling.
It'll be a 5, 6, about 6 to 8 inch opening right straight through for ventilation. You know?
Right. And then so this will, and then the windows will open. You'll get a draft going up and out. You got vents on the top, or you got lights rather, skylights.
Skylight.
And you got the big fluorescent lights down the middle. Now, you want to get a break? Okay, we're back again with Kenneth Castine, the general manager and one of the 6 owners of the Ridge View Farms, and we're here on this April the 20th at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you'll explain this barn to us now. The cows run loose in here. They are never tied, correct?
Right, they're never tied.
Now, you told me something about the far wall. What happens on the far wall?
On the far wall, well, you got these brackets, you know, to go in for a stall.
Okay, there'll be a stall like you would in a normal barn.
Right, but no stand, no, just a...
So the cow...
like a rounding thing.
Okay, so the cow does not get tied. They can go in when they want, they can come out when they want, and they walk around.
Right.
And I think you also told me there's going to be 4. Each outside wall will be stalls, and then this will be also?
Yeah.
There'll be another right through here, will be the same as the outside wall, and there'll be 2 on the other side the same way. So your cows will run loose, and then there is a barn cleaner that comes up the section.
Yeah, the cleaners going here, Bob. See, they've been all dropped. I think we're Calvin is standing.
Okay, we'll all fall down here. There's about a 15-foot pit, I think Curly told me this morning, right? And then it will be all washed out with water out into the big tank where it's stored. This will be opened here some way, Calvin. That'll be open, I believe, in that area.
Yeah, it'll be open when they're done. When it's finished, it'll be open.
And then, remember, over here, this will be about 6 or 8 inches higher, where the cow steps up on, where you'll have your straw, right, and a place for bedding. And you can see on the wall where the stanchions will come out. The cow will have a place, the width of about 3.5 to 4 feet.
What we're going to put in here, we're going to use rubber mats under each cow.
Rubber mats under each cow.
Yeah, that's what they'll be.
Okay.
Plus maybe a little sawdust, you know. And they should be a lot easier on their legs, you know.
Okay. You can see the controls on the windows here. You see? There's the controls that will push it out. And if you look down, way down there, I believe, is the motor. The motor is right down about halfway.
See, it's all controlled by the weather. Whatever the weather outside does, it doesn't bother.
Okay, now the door that's behind the man that's leveling the cement is the big section we saw outside. And Ken told us we're going to have another one over this door, which is another entrance to the barn. You're going to have a little canopy-like over this end also.
There'll be another canopy made just like that one over this one, and plus the one way at the far end.
3 ways.
Smaller, you know.
Okay, now, where will the cows go out when you let them out? What door do they use?
You mean when we let them out, they'll come down through here, Bob. See? When they melt, they'll come out here, you know, and they'll go out and this will be in sections.
Right, and then they'll go out. How do they get outdoors?
They'll never go outdoors.
They never go out. They won't go out in the summer?
No, they never. Once they're in here, they'll go for be sold or something.
I didn't realize that.
No, they never go out.
So you feed them year-round?
Year round.
Okay, now the question is, I thought of and Calvin had thought of. What do you do with the dry cows that you don't want to go through your milking parlor?
Well, we'll take one section and we'll put them in that section, and all will be divided.
There's all kinds of gates, right?
Yeah,
Control
there's
gates.
all kinds of control gates.
Will they work electrically or will they be by manual?
It'll be manual.
Manual in the gate.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay, let's look over here and see this big cement thing, and you can tell us what that's for. They're just laying the cement now, as you notice. We're now going into the middle of the barn where all the lights are. And explain this to me now.
Well, these here are going to be the mangers, the feeders.
What'll be in here? In the middle?
That'll be a place to drive through, I guess.
Are you going to drive through with the feed and they drop the feed into the side?
No, it's going to be all fed automatic.
Okay,
But
but you can drive through here if you want.
Yeah, I think this here, I ain't really sure, but I think I've been following up on this enough, but I think
Okay.
this is if something should happen, a breakdown, you would come in here with a mixing box.
Okay, yes, you have to think about that.
Yeah.
And you'll notice there is no loft, there is no hay stored above that can burn. There's very little, except the wooden stanchions that can burn in this barn, very little likelihood of the big disastrous
Yeah,
fire,
right.
correct? A devastating fire to this great institution here, one of the cast iron brothers.
Nice wood they use, Bob, on a car.
I see that, and you got the same over there. Will they have that up the middle?
Tongue and groove.
Will that be up in the middle also? Will they have that where the posts are?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you'll notice it behind. What he's talking about is the tongue and groove. Right here, you'll notice the big, thick wood that looks like it's was originally a 2x8 or 2x6, 2x8. And then there's some more of the big posts that will help the control. You'll notice this is open here. This is tin. I assume that that's what you're talking about for underneath here.
Yeah.
For
Not here, ain't going to stay here.
that will not stay. It'll be open.
Yep.
That's where the liquid fertilizer will leave the building. And at this end, as we look here, we're looking north now. We're looking at the entrance of two silos, harvester silos. Let's just go around the corner and look at those. We're in this area now. It's a little bit darker. We're at the north end of it, and there you see one of the big harvesters, and another one at the other opening down below. It's a big door in the east side, and that'll go into that new barn you're going to build for the young animals.
I think, Bob, that's going to be more or less to service these silos, you know, in case we have to fully unload it.
Okay, and you got another big door here to our left that comes in this direction.
Another door here, too.
And there's a door at the far end of the building.
Well, the other barn, the calf barn, won't have nothing to do with this.
You won't feed any of this to the calves at all?
No.
Okay.
The calf barn will be 10, 15 feet away from
Yep.
it, I think.
Get a good picture of that light up there, Calvin. Look at the size of that overhead light back up there. I don't know what the...
Nice and light, yeah.
Oh, they're great. No more dark, dingy barns. And as you look down here, you can't help but think of one of the indoor baseball fields that you've seen. Of course, there aren't these posts, but I think you told me it was 105 feet wide.
Yeah, 105
And it's
feet
got to be
long.
awfully close to 300 feet just in this loafing barn.
Yeah, I think it's well over 300 feet long now, taking in the holding area and the milking parlor and
Right.
the milk house.
But here, you've got to have at least as well over 200 from one end to the other. I'd say 240 maybe. And if you think of it as a baseball field, you look down. Go ahead, Ken.
Should hold 450 cows, I guess, this year.
Okay. Let's just walk over and look at this feeding on the other side. They got the cement up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back again, and we're looking down at the feeding, which will be, you can see they're building, put up another cement wall on the left. The one on the right is as straight as an arrow as you look down. Look at that, nice straight. There'll be another one a little bit lower so the cows can reach over and eat in there. And they'll be running loose within these posts. This whole area, they'll run loose. No cow will...
Mark?
Yeah.
This is Mark Goyle.
Mark Gallo, are you working here?
I work for Kennedy.
You work here?
I work
Okay.
for Kennedy.
Oh, for Kennedy. Okay, let's just talk to Mark Gallo.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Channel 21, our local TV. My name is Bob Venne. That's Calvin Castine with the camera. And how long have you been working here on this building?
About 2.5 weeks.
And you work for Kennedy.
That's right.
Who's doing what? The cement?
Yeah.
You're doing the cement work. So what do you got to do now? You got to put up another wall here?
Yeah. The front the front side of the bunk for the cows.
You call that a bunk for the cows?
Yeah.
And then you got to pave in between also? You let me also be cement?
It'll be filled up with sand and then...
But I mean in between the two big walls.
Yeah, that's going to be a drive-through.
Drive-through? And then you got to cement all of this also?
Right.
Have you any idea how many loads of cement it's going to take to do this basement of this barn?
I have no idea.
No idea at all.
No idea at all.
Okay, well thank you very much.
Yeah.
And who is this young man here? Can you tell us who you are?
Sean
Sean who?
Champlain.
Sean Castine, another one of the Castine. Who's your dad?
Stanley Castine.
Stanley is his father. Stanley Castine, and look, there's a Castine running that camera up there too. You know, look at that. See that Castine?
Hello, him.
You want to say hello to anybody out in TV land there that's going to watch this? Mom, Dad? No? Okay. You know, he's not used to being on TV. Okay, as we're looking down again, we've covered this area pretty well, I think. What is this going to be here? That's cement. That's the cement. That little thing going up?
Oh, that's to bring the feed to the cows to the mixer box.
Oh, this is for this little conveyor up here?
Yep, right. See that feed that come out of them silos?
Will come out, okay.
There's going to be two more conveyors coming from them silos up, you know.
Yep.
The one the thing into this feeder here and go into this one here.
Okay, we're going over here and look at this. This cement dry yet? May not be too dry. Okay, this is going to be a conveyor that will bring it down.
Bring it down to a big mixing box.
At the other end.
Yep.
And then it will come back into the middle to be fed.
Well,
So you mix a lot of your own feed, in what you're saying, right? Do you know why that little area is different right there? You know what's going to... There's a reason for that, and maybe it's just for... in the back, there's got to be a reason for that.
Because when a lot of this was going on, I wasn't here.
Okay. This was all planned. I asked Curly this morning who designed it. He said you guys talked about it a long time, right? Yous guys, all right.
We designed.
The brothers, right. And there again, you see the automatic windows with the motor here, and there's another one down below. We would show you how it works, but the electricity is not hooked up in here yet. Well, they probably made an area for the door so that it wouldn't be straight, and there's got to be a reason why that goes out a little bit. Obviously, no cows are going to get in there.
No,
I don't think any cows are going to get in there. Maybe it's a place to, if the cow is chasing, you can run in and be safe.
Yep, right. If the bull gets after, that's where you run.
That's where you're going to run, okay. So the only time the animals get out is to be bred, and then you have artificial insemination?
No, we buy
You have your own bulls here, okay. And then, do you have to trim the cows' hoofs because they're on here? You do, because they get very, very long, right? And who does that? You do that yourselves?
No, Ed LeBray does it.
Ed LeBray comes in and does that?
Yeah, he does that.
Because the cow's toenails will grow to 1 inch or 2 inches, and then they'll start to cross.
Yeah,
And the poor cow can't walk, right?
Yeah, especially being on cement and stuff.
Right, now,
without going outdoors.
your dad's brother, Edgar Castine, down in the lake, I've seen he had animals that hadn't been out of the barn in 3 years. And I've seen theirs, and they just crossed right over. And he had to have them trimmed.
Yeah, you gotta have them trimmed. You can't leave them like that. They'll drop and melt.
Okay, well, I think Kenny told me that all the ceiling is insulated,
Yeah,
so they don't...
Insulated, I think about an inch and a half thick.
Right.
Under the metal.
Okay, so there'll be no leak and condensation coming down like we have when we're over in the Rouse's Point Civic Center over there, where the recreation building, because of the metal top, and when it gets when there's rain or the condensation inside, it starts to rain inside the buildings. But this here, there'll be nothing dropping from the ceiling.
No, nothing whatsoever. You can't have moisture anyways on a cow because you'll catch ammonia. You know,
Okay.
the changes in the weather.
Well, that's a good question. How do you find out when one of your cows are sick? At milking
At
time?
milking time.
Milking.
mostly.
Okay.
When they're in a bar or milking them, then you notice them.
Okay. Now, how often do you get a veterinarian here?
Always comes often.
And you have one veterinarian all the time?
You get one veterinarian.
Okay.
Same veterinarian.
Same veterinarian. He knows your cows, right?
Yep, right.
I bet your cows see the doctor more often than you do.
Right.
All right. Okay, we'll take a little break now and give Calvin a chance to rest his shoulder.
Bad, but the cows, I think, still see them more often than I do.
Right.
Yeah.
As we're looking down, we're down on the first floor. Calvin's up on a platform over the feed mixing area, and he's looking down now the conveyor belt, which runs the full length of the barn, about 10 feet high, and he's looking right straight down now. He's about 10 feet above us, or 8 feet above us. And as you look up there, we don't know what this is all going to be used for, but there's also a conveyor that will turn and go crossways in the barn, you'll notice.
That's got to be, Bob, to go to the feed in the main.
Yep, that's going to go out into the middle. Yep. And there's a conveyor on the other side also? No.
No conveyor.
No conveyor on the other side because they're going to... This is to feed the big cement things in the middle. Now, they're going to stop. This area will be open, right? There'll not be any feeding here. Probably controlled by all kinds of gates.
Yeah, be controlled by gates.
Calvin's looking down now at the base of this forester silo, and there's a big door here to the back. There's another door on the right, and there'll be all kinds of mixing things going on in here. We're not exactly sure, but if the weather permits and we can get back in here before they open up, or just as they open up, maybe get a chance to get some more shots of this. Right now we're here because it's much easier to walk with no cattle around and get a good...
Bob, you got a whole walkway all along that elevator, look.
Yes, okay. Did you notice that, Calvin? There is a platform where you can walk with the whole length for any problems they might have. It's already fixed now to be able to work at it. We were also commenting along the windowsills. You'll notice that the windowsills are not flat. And there'll be no place to put your Pepsi or your Mountain Dew or anything else. And any water that comes in will, as the windows are open, will run off. And these are 2x8s or 2x10s all around and all tongue and groove. And very well done. And you'll also notice as we look out down this area, Calvin, way down, you'll see the big posts in the middle of the... I assume that's so they can make these different sections, right? You can section off and keep your dry cows or whatever maybe in the middle. And I assume you'll have a walkway maybe along the side that they can...
Yeah, there'll be a walkway. Cows will have a place to walk and go into the hole.
I understand that along here, the cows will be tied along here. Not tied, but excuse me. This will be also a place for loafing.
Yep, right.
Right? I mean, they can lay down here, just like that far wall.
Yep,
and in the middle is where the gutter and the paddle goes.
Right.
Is this area, that's for the...
for your barn cleaner.
That's for the barn cleaner.
This is going to be for your barn cleaner goes down through.
Now, it will go and it keeps going back and get some more, right?
Yep, it goes back and forth.
And when it comes back, the paddles fold, then they go back again.
Right.
Okay. Well, Ken, this has certainly been very illuminating for me, and I'm sure that the people out on Channel 21 who watch Hometown Cable are going to enjoy this.
No.
And I don't know if there's more for us to see outside. We can get that later if there is. Ken's going to have to get started doing his chores. It started at 4:30, he tells us. But we hope that everything works out well. And when do you expect to get in?
Well, I think it'll be maybe about a month.
A month or so, you think you should be able to? There must have been...
Because we've got to wait for three-phase electric to come down.
Three-phase going in, and that you told me it's only as far as... Alco on Ridge Road right now.
Yep.
So they got to come a couple miles with that three-phase.
A couple miles with three-phase because all the motors and everything, we ordered all three-phase stuff. Yep, they're all three-phase.
Okay, and I think that I would be within my right if someone wants to come and look at this. They're free to come in,
yep,
as long as the cows aren't here, and they aren't going to. And even then, maybe you'd be glad to have people.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're very, very proud.
Yeah, right. Yeah, anybody can come anytime and look at it.
Thank you very much, Ken. It certainly is a beautiful place, and it's very serviceable. And it's hard to believe that this size operation could be run by 6 people.
It's going to be very easy to take care of, very easy to manageable. And if
you say it's easy. I think it's an awful lot of work, but still, it's easier than doing it by hand, right?
Well, certainly. It'll be easier for even a one-man milking operation now.
Right. How many tractors do you have?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
I got 8, 9.
8 or 9 big tractors, right?
But I don't, nothing to do in the field or anything.
Right. Now, how do you break up the work between the boys? You are general manager, and the 2 of your brothers always do the milking night and day. Do they work in the fields also?
No.
They don't work in the field?
Don't go in the field.
They don't go in the fields at all. Then there are 3 others?
There's a certain crew in the field, and the others take care around the barn.
The others spend it, and those 2 boys make it.
Yep, right.
And you enjoy it.
Yep, right.
And how are you related to Calvin, our photographer up there? How? You're cousins, I believe, with Calvin, right?
Right.
The big cast iron families of northern New York towns of Moores and Champlain. And thank you very much, Calvin. We'll take a break right about now. Okay, we're standing in back of the barn now, and just off to our right you see the back of the new barn, and then you see the 5 silos on the south end of the buildings, and then this big building right ahead of us here.
That's milk house.
That's the milk house with the 2 double white glass doors, and then off to the left?
Off to the left of the milking parlor where the cow's being milked.
That's where you're milking right now, and that did not burn at the fire, right?
Some of it, some of the ceiling damage.
But you were able to continue to use it the next day, I think, right?
Yeah, we were able to continue to use it the next day.
Okay, now off to the left, you'll see some charred material, and that's part of your loafing barn that did burn, right?
Yep, where the cows, some of the cows are staying now.
Right. They had to put some kind of a roof up. The cows were out. It was September, and it was a long winter. But we did have a rather easy winter this year.
Yeah,
right?
it was pretty decent.
Right. There's the storage tank for your...
storage system.
All right, for your... then it comes out in the tanks. They fill up their spreaders.
See, Bob, when this is done, there'll be a big thing here going right through that tank.
Okay, it'll be underground?
All underground.
Okay, and that's where the slurry will come out of your barn.
Right.
Right here, the pit, and we'll go underneath the road here, and you won't need this road here much anymore, right?
You won't need it. The calf barn goes here.
Calf barn is going to go in here, right? And there you see the back of the, what you see the windows over there. That's the milking parlor, and then way at the other end is the milk house.
And the holding area and the milking parlor. You got the milk house, the milking parlor, and the holding area.
Okay, now the reason we just saw all that overhead conveyor is because these 2 silos were here, and you just don't move silos like that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had to have those conveyors. They could have all been at the other end where all the others are. Did you lose any silos at the fire?
Yeah, we lost 2.
2, at this end or the other end?
This end.
At this end.
2 smaller ones.
Okay, yes. But they were the small ones, right? They were the small ones.
I don't know.
All right, let's give the folks who don't know an idea of what a silo like this harvester costs on today's market.
It must cost $85,000 or $90,000.
That's 1,000, folks. That's not hundreds. That's $85,000 to $90,000. And you see here some bigger than this, taller, and you see 8 of them.
Yeah, a big one at that end, a 90-footer.
And then what is that? Something like that going to be over 100,000?
Yep, they're going to run about 120, 25,000 on today's market.
Okay, what's the advantage of this over a wood one? What happens in there?
Well, stuff that you put in remain the same, but it all stays the same.
And it's glass lined?
Glass lined. But if you put 4 feet in, you ain't going to get good feet out.
Right, okay.
Whatever you put in, you get out.
Right, and you have very little loss, right?
No loss.
No loss whatsoever.
No loss because it's got air breathers at the top, like lungs.
Okay. I think are they putting liquid fertilizer out in the field? Now there's some of the fertilizing going on now way out in the field, the yellow spreader, which is taken out of this big slurry tank, and it's put on liquid.
Now Billy's doing that now.
Billy is doing that until he comes in and starts milking at 5 o'clock.
Billy starts milking, and I go home to bed.
You're going to go home to bed.
Right.
Okay, we got a nice blue skies now. Your farm work will be starting pretty soon in the field because you can get on these fields.
Yeah, well, that's all tile land, Bob.
Okay.
Tile like quite a few years ago.
So it's nice and dry, right? Early, yes.
Yep.
And you usually put corn in here, usually, right?
Well, this here's a meadow this year, but what he is doing now is going to be corn put there this year.
Has it been plowed yet? No, it hasn't been, huh? Okay, we'll get inside one of these buildings and look at the loafing barn.
What we do now is just use them big heavy wheels, But the first time like that, you got to plow it.
Okay.
But after it's been plowed on here, you can get along with the big wheels, them heavy wheels to break it up.
Which are, 20 feet wide?
Yep.
Okay, we'll go inside now.
Right here'll be a calf barn here.
Right through here is going to be a complete calf barn. You're going to keep the
I think we're going to keep just that milk house.
And use
that building there.
And there'll be no calves in it, right?
No, there'll be nothing in it.
But you'll use it for a nice clean storage, whatever you need back here. Grain, if anything, for the calves and so forth.
And that building there will be coming out of there.
Okay, that's going to come out, and all that back end will be all removed.
Oh yeah, that'll all be gone out of there.
Well, in a way, if you pardon my expression, when you get right down to it, the fire, no fire is good, but when you come out of it, you're going to be much easier, newer operation. And this has got to be the newest operation in northern New York or all of New York State. It can't be. It's not even ready yet.
Yeah, right. There's been quite a few people here, like Charlie Ashley's been here, and he's a big dairy farmer, and he's looking to build a new.
You got the very latest.
Yeah, he said it's a beautiful setup.
Right. Okay, we're going to go inside the door. This is the present tank.
There's the tank. Oh, how many gallons is that?
Is this going to go in the other building?
This is going in the other building.
Okay, we're going to see if we can see how many gallons. It doesn't say. This is a surge.
Right here.
On the end, they're going to get the reading. This is one tank. All the milk is brought in here by pipe from the milking parlor area.
Oh, 29,000 pounds, that tank.
That would be 1,000 U.S. gallons. 1,000 U.S. gallons, 4,000 quarts. 4 quarts in a gallon? Yes, all right. 4,000 quarts. So the next time you buy a quart of milk or you get the 2 quarts container, you remember this holds either 4,000 of the 1 quart or 2,000 of the 2 quarts.
A whole lot, a whole 28,000 pounds of milk. Capacity.
112,050 BTUs at 30 degrees. This says 112,050.
The 11.
112,050.
Yep, whole 28,000 pounds.
Up here it says 3,000 gallons.
That's what it is, 3,000 gallons.
Okay, 3,000 gallons up here. The model number and the serial number we don't care about.
Yep.
Again, you'll notice how nice and clean and white. This probably has all been redone after the fire last year.
No.
None of this nothing happened in here.
Nothing happened.
So this big operation was able to continue because even though as bad as it was, someone upstairs was thinking about you and left most of your milking parlor intact,
right.
And you were able to send milk.
Save the milk out.
And you kept your cows right here.
Not all of them. We got 100 over at Nevitt farm, Bucket Nevitt.
Yep.
That's on the Angelville area road?
Angelville Road.
Okay. This is where you wash
That's all you got to wash all the milking equipment, automatic. Just turn this here and on just takes off. But the other one will be all different, a new one.
Yep. And around the corner here, you'll see some more of the vacuum tanks that run the milk parlor.
Right. That there cools the milk.
That also cools the tank. And then you got big water storage here. And there's a bathroom and a utility room on the front. Then you got a bathroom here. And then there's your panel boards.
I've got a mess in here because it's hooked up different from outside. You don't tell it gets
Right.
done.
Have you any idea what your electric light bill is for 2 months?
Must be $5,000-6,000. Run $5,000-6,000.
So what you're saying is that your milk check is not all profit?
Well, it's a long way.
That's right. But you get paid once a month or 2 now? Twice a month?
Twice a month.
Twice. The 1st and the
You
15th?
get paid the 10th and the 22nd. 10th and the 20th, I think.
Okay.
Or the 25th.
25th, 10th, and the 20th. Used to be the 25th when I was on the farm.
Yep, right.
That's your milk pump receiving panel.
Yep.
Well, here you see all the wiring on the wall, all in pipes,
That's
plastic,
the way it
and
was
that's all copper.
See, Bob, when the big barn burnt, that's the way it was. Everything was all in this stuff, all new. All in pipe.
That started up in your hay mow, right? Your farm, your fire?
I don't know if it started way at that end.
At the other end. The fire, I was told, at the Larry Barcombe farm started up near the conveyor belt from the hay up above, yeah. He said he'd never put another hay storage on top of his cows again.
It's the worst thing you can do if you,
Right.
if you get in trouble and have to build a house.
Okay, we're going to head out now into the milk and parlor area, which is just around through here. And in this station, you're going to see, it's a little bit different. This is a surge milking parlor.
Yep,
And this milks 10 on each side, 20. The new one is 24, you remember,
Right.
12 on each side. Here's the holding area here, which is quite dark. You won't be able to see here. But this is where the cows are maintained here, but there's no gate that pushes them into the, again,
We did have a gate, Bob, see it burnt, it goes off. See right here.
Oh, you did have one. Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
we never really use it, you know.
Okay, now here again you see the area where Arthur and Billy milked the cows. And this is being used every night and morning. Right now you see how nice and clean it is. This was used this morning, folks. It's going to be used within the next half hour. It's just as clean as the one we just came out of, except that the cement's a little darker. It's been here longer. But you'll notice that the lights are a little bit different here, and the milking apparatus is not quite as modern. And you got lights up above, and you've got some of the fire damage.
Fire damage.
That was up on...
The heat. See the new milking, the new building, all the heat's on the floor.
So you don't even see it.
You don't see nothing.
Well, those are heaters up there.
Yep. We also having the floor here, but we had trouble with it, and also we took the brake off of it.
Yep. Now you see this is a milking unit.
Yep, that's a third milking unit. A third, one of our latest units out, sir.
I don't want to, you can grab that. I don't want to drop it. I'm holding the mic here. He'll just show you.
These are the washers.
The washers that wash them here. Each one is washed, obviously, after every milking.
Right.
And then this goes underneath the cow, upside down like that. It takes them off automatically. This
is all automatic.
Okay, this swings out under the cow, right?
Yes.
And then swings out here, and then this teat cup goes up into the four teats at the cow right here.
Right.
And then the milk goes out this white pipe in and up through the lines and over into the big storage tank we saw earlier.
We've got a double line milk line in here.
Okay, now you'll also, that's the what?
This is a spray dipper to sterilize the end of their tit.
Okay, now over here on these it's a little bit different. You'll see that there are feeding buckets.
Yeah, we had to put them in, I guess, but we never cut any feed out.
Right, you see they found out that there was a little bit too much dirt in here afterward when they fed them, so they don't feed them anymore, and there's nothing like this in the new one. This kept the cow in one place, so she stayed right here at an angle, and that's going to be all done differently in the new milking parlor.
So we put that there to hold the cows back. See if we didn't, on the surge, I guess that's the only stall they had out, you know, and outside of that they had to put just a railing, you know.
Right, now here's another hydraulic gate that kept them in.
Gate.
Remember, this is where all of the money comes to run this whole operation. Starts right here in this room. Right. Anywhere else except this room, it's expense.
Right.
This is the income section. And as my father used to say when I was brought up on the farm, I told Dad, don't bother me when we're milking. That's when you make your money.
Yep.
Right? You don't want anybody in the
around when you're milking.
You don't need anybody around. You don't want any salesmen around. You want nobody around
Right.
when you're taking in your money.
Because it leaves them milk on the cow too long, or you start visiting, and the first thing you know, you're in trouble.
Right. Now let's swing over on the other side and see the loafing barn just for a couple of seconds. He does, huh?
See, this here, we used to be washed every day. You never saw this until we used to keep them spotless, all this stuff.
Now, this, of course, is very hard to get an idea, which is a new
I ain't gonna see much
but
here.
you get an idea.
Tell them all to get in there.
Yes. This is an idea of a loafing barn. Of course, they were much higher inside than this. This roof was put on after the fire, so they would have some kind of cover. But basically, they had 25 or 30 feet in here originally before also for the air to circulate. But after the fire, they didn't get a chance to put all that back. It took too much reinforcement. But this is what we call about, up here, you'll notice we talked about the outside walls, up about 6 or 8 inches up above, where the cows can go up and keep clean and lay down, but they're loose. None of these are tied, and a large percentage will always go back to the same stall. They're very habit-conscious animals. And they'll be just like this. Over there, they're going to be in the outside wall and one inside wall. This is the dirty area here, which is cleaned by big paddles. And this is not a very good idea of what a loafing barn is because of the roof being right down on top of the cows. They just didn't have any alternative after the fire. There was no way to rebuild without spending a lot of money that would then have to be destroyed. So they did the best they could by putting up these. You don't have all these stanchions. None of this would you see above us, these 2x6s. It's been wide open before.
To give the cows a little bit of protection, you know, from the winter,
Right.
snow, and ice.
And you're a Holstein man.
Yep, Holstein.
Absolutely all Holstein, right?
All Holstein and no artificial breeding.
No artificial breeding and no horns.
No horns. Horns burnt off as a calf is born.
When I was going to college, I worked for Dr. Dwight, and we used to catch the cattle in their stanchions, of course, to give the blood testing and the TB testing, and a Holstein was very docile. You could grab it by the nose with your fingers, and many of the other types of breeds, you didn't have that, and they used to have the great big horns, I remember, over in the Rogers Point area, the big Ayrshire,
Right.
and they were very dangerous.
There's a bull right there.
There's a big bull looking this right square in the face, right here, with the horn.
See, all the bulls, Bob, those will all come out of Canada.
Right. They leave the horns on the bull so that there won't be any mistake for Bill and Arthur when they get into the milking parlor by mistake.
Yep, right.
But you can't really see what you should see here, but it gives you a basic idea. But they will not be face to face like this in their loafing when they get in the other barn.
No. The barn should be like pleasant for the cows.
Okay, so I don't have a good sense of smell, but you people out in TV land don't have any worry about any smell either. But the barn is cleaned here once a day or twice a day?
It ain't been cleaned for a couple of days.
It hasn't been cleaned for a couple of days. Now these,
We got it going now, the old machine, you know.
okay, because it's all, you don't have the automatic
Yeah,
anymore.
it's all gone. Huh?
The automatic is all gone, so they have to do this with.
Once it's been cut off, that building used to be a lot longer than what you see there, huh?
Yep.
Used to go up to the, where the new one is now, you know, into the new one.
Did these cows used to go out in the summer? Before?
No, never.
Never go out,
Never
huh?
going out. Just the dry cows in the summer we still leave them
Okay.
out. But
Well-
in the new barn, the dry cows, we ain't gonna leave no more cows out.
Okay.
Now, in about a year's time, we'll not have no more animals out. Even the heifers and calves will all stay inside.
No more pastures.
Be no more pasture.
Farmers make a big mistake. They take the worst property they have and they use it as a pasture.
Yep.
Poor animals have no place to eat,
They don't have enough to eat. They don't
right?
do good.
And they figure that they don't want to take their good land because they want to
Yeah, right.
they want to have crops there. But that was a mistake that most farmers make. They put them on a property where there's trees and the grass is not good. I can talk a little bit about farms. I was
Yeah,
brought up,
but
as you know.
right now, instead of giving cattle a good pasture, a good piece of land, you can take 3-4 crops off that land and more and feed them, you know.
Yep.
More and take care of them.
Well, is there anything else I didn't cover that you want to tell us at all about this big operation?
Well, ain't too much left. I guess I've all.
I think we've covered
again.
until we can come back again when we see everything is in again. You know, if you want to see some of the devastation, Calvin, again. Of course, Calvin took a lot of pictures just after the fire, and his wife Judy took them the night of the fire. Calvin and Sam were both out of town with pictures. Here's some of the roof, I guess, and the walls from the previous barn that was here, that is still out here. You see the scorched fans, I think, right? They were all scorched.
All
You can see where they're all burnt off there, and the paint's all off in them. Will you have fans in your new building? I guess
No
not,
fan, it's all,
because of the
painted.
open on the top, right?
Yep.
It will just, and the windows will open, and you'll have.
There'll be a big saving right there, electric.
Yes.
No fan, no nothing in there.
Right.
A new setup, it should be all controlled by the weather.
Yep. You see the nice big windows you have in these also. And remember now, they're operating here now with this operation nowhere near the way it was before. They're doing the best they can to get the other building up, and then this will all be taken down. This will all be taken down, and the building we just saw where the cows will all be taken down, right?
Right now, this is for sale.
You'll sell this to somebody, right?
Yep.
It's certainly operating every day, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, it's just, I know, it's only 2-3 years old.
Yep.
It ain't that old, this milking system.
It isn't that all, right?
No, it ain't that old. But we decided this time to go with that Germanium.
Where were you when you got news of the fire back in September? Were you home?
Yep.
You were home.
Yeah, right.
That must have been a devastating
I said, another thing.
when you heard that, huh?
Yep. I never thought the barn, well, the way Dave had this place wired, you know, I never thought it could be electrical that ever start in these buildings, you know.
It can start anywhere.
Well, I
You
guess so,
cannot
but
stop.
now,
Yeah.
because he had it all in contour, that pipe, you know.
Was the original barn in the front one that your father had here for years before, right?
Oh,
That was the original barn,
original
right?
Barn.
Yep.
But a lot of repaired and work and kept up all the time.
And
you
it
know,
started there, then spread this way, correct? With the
Yeah.
west wind drove it down through here.
It spread down through that freestall mighty quick.
Oh yeah, well, that's it just.
Boy, you had a tunnel in there, you may for,
Yep.
I don't know, it was for air or something.
You didn't lose any milking cows. You lost a lot of
We
young.
lost some milking cows.
You did, and you lost a lot of young stock, right?
Yep. And
Well-
I had a lot of trouble with milking cows later on. I was going to do to the fire, you know.
Right.
But the veterinary at the Ohio had to sell them, get rid of them.
Well, Ken, you're a neighbor of mine. We live side by side here on Church Street, and I certainly appreciate your taking the time out of your busy day and to show Calvin and I, and to show all the people out there on Channel 21 land that what goes on here, and some people are going to be mighty surprised. What's in, you know, if you've never taken a trip to Arist, you get very surprised.
Yeah,
but
right.
no more surprised than you would be when you come into this new operation.
Yeah.
And again, you want to invite people to come. They're free to come.
Welcome anytime to come, people.
Very good. Thank you very much, Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Bob and Calvin.